Hey, what's going on, guys? Within today's video, I have 7 forearm exercises for you, designed to help add some thickness and mass to your lower arms. And if I'm being honest, having big arms that can fill out a t-shirt was literally my main reason for picking up weights back in the day when I was 14 or 15 years old. What a journey that's been. Let's face it, every guy needs a crisp white or black t-shirt in their closet. And for me, Cuts offers just that. It's my go-to shirt. They offer a range of awesome colors, as well as black and white, as well as different cuts, crew, Henley, and cuts at the bottom. Split, curved, and this one, elongated, which really does have a nice length. The arms are great, they fit in the shoulders, and you can wear them over and over, wash them, and they fit perfectly once again. If you want to find out more about Cuts and everything that they offer, simply click the link in my bio below. Okay, let's get started with today's workout. 7 forearm exercises. Now, usually I'll perform 2 or 3 at the end of an arm or a back workout. But if you want to go all out and hit all 7 exercises, go for it. Now, I normally perform 2 to 3 sets with a little higher rep range than normal, 15 or 20. Again, forearms, similar to our abdominals and our calves, are much more of a sinewy type of muscle, which means they can withstand a lot of endurance. So simply lifting a heavy weight for 8 or 10 reps won't really get the same results that you would with arms, chest, or legs. Let's start on our first one, barbell wrist curl. This has to be one of the best forearm exercises for mass. For this, I like to sit in a tripod position, have my hips pushed all the way back, and lean my forearms onto the top of my thighs with my wrists hanging just off the edge of the knee. This way I can keep my back straight and really focus on the forearms doing all the work here. If you go too heavy, you're likely to strain the muscles in the forearm. So start off light and gradually build up set after set. For this one, I like to use an underhand grip that's about shoulder width apart. Grip the bar lightly, and as you roll the fingers out, allow the bar to roll down to the tips of the finger. That way you get a really nice stretch in the forearms. Then gently close up the fingers as you pull your wrists back up towards your forearms. You're really going to feel this in the forearms. So keep these repetitions smooth and controlled and focus on maximizing that range of motion, really squeezing the forearms at the top of each rep. Our second exercise is a reverse dumbbell curl. Now this is very similar to the first exercise we did with the barbell, and you can just use an overhand grip on that barbell. But this can often be uncomfortable for the wrists and the forearms, so I like to perform this with 2 dumbbells at the same time. Set up much in the same way as you did for exercise 1, except this time you've got knuckles facing up, palms facing down. Then simply rotate your wrist as far up as you can, feeling that tension in the forearms. Pause momentarily, flex that muscle, and then allow that wrist to come all the way down so you feel a great stretch in the forearm. If you're not quite feeling it performing 2 dumbbells at the same time, try performing 1 dumbbell at a time. This will allow you to shift your arm into a more comfortable position and get that full range of motion without feeling any awkwardness in the forearm. Exercise 3, Overhand EZ Bar Curl. Another great exercise for working the upper region of the forearms, and one that I love to include within every arm workout. Now, whilst you can use a straight bar for this exercise, I prefer using an EZ bar because of the unique hand position. I really feel it targeting my forearms that much better. Start with your arms at full length, knuckles pointing forwards, and then keeping the elbows in a fixed position, curl that bar up towards your chest just before the elbows start to pull forwards. Now, normally this is a bicep focused exercise, but by changing to an overhand grip and slightly rotating at the wrists using the EZ bar, you're definitely going to feel this more on the forearms. With this one, I always like to superset this with regular barbell curls or after a dumbbell set for my biceps. That way my arms are already warmed up and I feel a great pump in my forearms. Our fourth exercise, standing behind the back bar curl, is very similar to the first one with the seated wrist curls, except this way we've got our arms at full length. For this, I like to use a squat rack to position the barbell at about hip height. Therefore, I can simply turn around, grasp the barbell with an overhand grip, stand up so the barbell is behind me, and then, much in the same way as that first exercise, curl the wrists up towards the forearms so you get a really great focused contraction in the forearms. Full range of motion, slow and controlled, and maximizing that contraction in the forearms are the main focus points for all of these exercises. With this one, it's important to make sure your shoulders are pulled back and chest is lifted. You also don't want to be flexing at the elbow to incorporate any biceps or triceps into this movement. Again, the exercises which really focus on the key target muscle that we're training usually minimize any other muscle group from becoming involved. Exercise 5, bent arm dumbbell rotations. Now, at first, you might not think this really hits the forearms, but the forearm has a lot to do with rotating at the wrist. So, much in the same way that you might start a hammer curl, pick up 2 dumbbells and hold them in that hammer position. Palms facing each other, thumbs up at the top, and elbows bent at about a 90 degree. Again, don't go too heavy with this one. Start off light and then progress up with the weights as you become more comfortable with these exercises. For this one, I like to try for a full 90 degree inwards, back to the top, and then 90 degrees outwards. And keep these slow and controlled. Don't rush these movements. Rotate all the way in so that your palms are facing down on the floor. Pause and flex the forearms. Bring them back to the top, and then as you do, keep going until your palms are facing upright and flex the forearms again. Slow, controlled tempo, and usually 15 or 20 reps for these, like many of the other forearm exercises. Exercise 6. Now, this one might be a bit of a unique one that you may have not seen before, but this lights up your forearms. I simply call it a bar raise. And using a lat pull-down bar or using a light aerobic bar, certainly not an Olympic bar. You want something light and long. You're gonna hold it right at the end with the arm at the side of your body. Then simply flex at the wrist and raise that bar up as you keep your arm in that static position. Again, no bicep, tricep, or elbow involvement in this one. It's all at the wrist, which means your forearm is gonna have to work extra hard to be able to raise that bar up. Now, as soon as you start to fatigue on this one, and fatigue you will, you can simply change your grip to lower down on the bar, therefore reducing the leverage of it and less weight being lifted. It's a great superset one, and one that I start at the top with maximum weight, and after about 10 or 12 reps, I can feel that burn in my forearms. I'll shift my grip further down that bar, allowing me to get an extra 6 or 8 reps on top of that. Remember, with these, you're performing one arm at a time. So if you start on your right arm, give yourself about 30-45 seconds recovery before starting on your left side. And after that, maybe start again on your left side so that you're not always starting on your dominant side. All right, here we are, exercise 7. And this one really is an old school exercise. I remember seeing this one for the first time when I walked into a gym when I was about 15 years old. It's called a super gripper, and something that you can find really easily online and affordable. Essentially, it's a large grip with 2 coiled springs on the end that you can reposition to increase or decrease the pressure as you grip. With this one, you can perform standing or seated, and usually I like to use my free hand to steady the gripper whilst I focus on gripping with the other hand, whilst keeping the elbow bent at about 90 degrees. This really helps you improve your grip strength, which, besides just working the forearm, can also help improve many barbell exercises such as bent over row, lat pull downs, pull-ups, or anything that you need to grip the bar and have a firm grip strength. Okay, so with the workout now wrapped up, let's take a few minutes to talk about the importance of nutrition. Look, regardless whether you're just starting out in this fitness game or you've been doing it for years, whether your goal is to put some muscle on or burn some body fat, the key to achieving this is down to your nutrition. Yes, what you do in the gym is definitely one aspect, but also what you eat, how much of what you eat, and how frequently when you eat it are also key factors to allowing you to achieve your fitness goal. When it comes to your daily intake, I like to use a median range of about 15 calories per pound of body weight. So if you're 170 pounds, multiply that by 15, and that's roughly the amount of calories you need just for maintenance. If you're a little bit heavier or a little bit lighter, you can adjust accordingly. This is what I would refer to as my baseline. Now, from those daily calories, you need to determine how much protein, carbohydrates, and fat you get from that. A really simple, straightforward approach is 40, 40, 20. So 40% of your daily calories coming from protein, 40% coming from carbohydrates, and 20% coming from fat. This is another great baseline median average. Once you've done this for about a month, that way you've given your body a solid amount of nutrition for a good 4 weeks where you can start to decide whether you need to increase your protein, drop some carbohydrates, or add or decrease calories in general. But the key to this is following a set nutrition plan for about 4 weeks to give your body a steady baseline intake of calories and protein, carbs, and fats. Look, when it comes to protein, Shakes and bars are an easy way to maximize your protein intake each day. This is from a company called Built Bar. These great tasting little protein bars that pack about 17, 18 grams of protein in each bar, 1 to 5 grams of net carbs, and about 120, 110 calories. So it's a great snack or a bridge between meals, or like what I normally do, grab one at the end of my workout before I get home and eat my main meal. These come in a range of different flavors. It's real chocolate, so it hits my chocolate fix as well. And maybe I have one at night as well. It's only about 130 calories. It's not gonna do any damage. And I'm still giving my body about 17 grams of complete protein. We talk about protein because they're the essential building blocks of our bodies. When you've weight trained, broken down some muscle fibers through stress from resistance training. So it's important to get enough quality protein in. Again, powders, wholesome food, and bars can all help increase your protein intake and calories at the end of the day. This one is cherry black. Flavor's amazing. It's made with 100% real chocolate, zero guilt, and quite literally, I eat about 2 of these a day. Okay, so there we have it. For more information about Cuts Clothing, find the link in the description below. Use my name, Rob Riches, to get 15% off your entire order from Cuts Clothing. And again, if you want to find out more information about the Built Bar, I've included the link in this video description, along with all the time codes for each exercise. So you can go back, simply click on that time code. It will take you right to that point in the video, and you can rewatch any of the exercises if you need to pick up a little bit more information about them. All right, guys, go put these exercises to the test. Hit me up on social media, Instagram, check out my daily stories. I'll see you back here next time. Keep training hard, stay motivated. See you soon.